ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। You can repeat the prayer verse. Vasudevendra Yogindram
वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रम्
नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं
नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम्
मुक्षूणां हितार्थाय
मुमुक्षूणां हिताय
तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते।
विधीयते।
साधन चतुष्टयं किम्?
So we are seeing the topic Sadhana Chatushtayam. We are seeing the topic Sadhana Chatushtayam, which is important for an adhikari. Adhikari is one of the Anubandha Chatushtaya. The text has got Anubandha Chatushtayam, fourfold connections: Vishaya, Adhikari, Prayojanam, and Sambandha. So with regard to Adhikari, who wants to study the text and gain the result, the benefit of the knowledge gained through the study of the text. For that, an adhikari must be sufficiently equipped with certain qualifications. That is called sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. The one who has is called sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. So in this text, the second line, sadhana chatushtaya sampannadhikarinam moksha sadhana bhutam tattva prakaram vakshyamah iti. The author says there.
Guruji, there is a bit of lag happening and we totally lost your voice. Just at the end.
Yes, I heard. Okay. So I'll continue from where I stopped. Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikarina. So adhikari is one who is endowed with this sadhana chatushtaya. That is mentioned. So he is an adhikari who has got this sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Therefore only we are discussing the sadhana chatushtaya. And sadhana chatushtayam, we know it means the fourfold qualifications, which we have been discussing for the last few classes. Up to Dhamma we have seen. Up to Dhamma we have seen. Now the next one is Uparamaha. Before seeing the Uparama, why we emphasize so much on this sadhana chatushtayam? Why we emphasize? About that we can discuss a little. This sadhana chatushtayam, which we often emphasize for the seekers of freedom, moksha, is the means for gaining jnana yogyata. Gaining jnana yogyata. Yogyata means the capacity, the ability to gain jnana. Jnana yogyata. Making oneself fit for gaining jnana, jnana yogyata. Then only when the jnanam is given, it can be accepted, it can be received, understood, assimilated, then it will fructify. Fructify in the form of the the understanding which is exhibited, manifested in our life. So jnana yogyata is important. For getting that only we are discussing sadhana chatushtayam. So this sadhana chatushtayam are the sadhanams for gaining the benefit of jnanam and moksha, and therefore moksha. So therefore a person with sadhana chatushtayam only will enjoy the benefit of jnana palam, which is moksha, freedom. Minus sadhana chatushtayam, jnana palam, that is moksha, freedom, cannot be gained. The knowledge of the text may be there, the knowledge of the text, but the knowledge will not fructify in the form of gaining the benefit, which is freedom, if sadhana chatushtayam is not there. Therefore only it is emphasized. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay.
Yes, Guruji.
Whenever I ask you, just say yes, that is enough. One person says, it's enough for me. Therefore, sadhana chatushtayam is emphasized. Therefore, you need to discover the person, because sadhana chatushtayam only help you to enjoy the benefit of jnana palam. Therefore, you need to discover the person in you who is endowed with sadhana chatushtayam. You need to dig out the person in you who is a viveki. You need to identify the person in you, the vairagi. you need to drop off all the outer shells and recognize the person who is a Shami, who is a Dami.
We lost your voice after Vairagi, Guruji.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
fine.
you're back.
Okay, it's okay. It will come back. So maybe a few seconds. You can just go. You can listen. If it is totally disconnected, then please tell me.
Okay, right.
So therefore, you need to discover the person in you. Discover the person in you who is a Shami, who is a Shami, who is a Dami. And Shama is Mano Nigraha. The one who has got is called Shami. And Dama is Indriya Nigraha. The one who has got is called Dami. Similarly, Viveki, Vairagi, all these are the very person you. So, therefore, when we say sadhanam, it is not that these sadhanams, sadhana meaning the qualifications, these are gained externally. It is not something which you gain externally, gained externally. It's not something which you add on to you from the external world. The truth is, the reality is, you are that person who is with these qualifications, who is with this. You are with this only. But that now there is a covering. Now there is a covering. So that has to be removed. The only thing what you need to do is to remove the covering and recognize the person as the person in you as sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. So when we say qualification, it is not something to be gained externally. If something is gained externally, then it will remain for some time. After that, it will go away also. If these sadhanams are gained externally, then it cannot be you, because it is gained externally. It cannot be you. You will be there. Sadhanams will be there. So sadhanams are something attached onto you. They are addendum. No, these sadhanams are not your attributes. They are your nature. That is your nature. You are basically a Shami, a Dami. You are Satchit Ananda Atma. Only when you identify with Anatma, then only all the other problems, all the problems come. But Atma doesn't have any problem. Atma doesn't need to have Shama. Atma doesn't need to have Dhamma. Only when you identify yourself with this body, mind, sense complex, and therefore only you need to have Shama, Dhamma. But Atma doesn't need to have. Only Anatma. Only the Anatma. Mind is also Anatma. Mind is Anatma. Therefore, only when the action, only when it is, when actions are manifested through this Anatma Sharira, in any action or any attitude which are exhibited through this, the means, that is Shariradi, body, mind, senses. So then only you need to have this, you have to exhibit these qualifications, which is already you only. So these are not your, the sadhanams are not your attributes. They are your nature. So when you discover yourself to be that person, then you become an adhikari. That is why we use the word adhikaritvam. Adhikaritvam means invoking the sadhaka in you who is an adhikari. The sadhaka in you, you have to discover the person in you who is an adhikari. Therefore, these sadhanams are not gained externally like you gain the qualification for pursuing some degree in the world. Like you need to be qualified in +2 so that you can do medicine or engineering. There it is a qualification. For doing medicine or engineering, you must have secured good marks in +2. Similarly, you need to be qualified in bachelor degree to get a master's degree. And to get doctorate, you must have a master degree. So these are qualifications which you gain externally. They are something which are added onto you. That is why along with your name you can put these qualifications. But they are not you. They are not you. These are added to you. They are nothing but the attributes. And the sadhanams, what we talk about, it is not like that. In this context, in our context of Adhyatmika Vishaya, it is not like that. What you need to do is you need to chisel yourself to see that you are the person with these sampattis, with this wealth. Like a sculptor, he carves a beautiful Lord Krishna statue from a piece of rock. A piece of rock is a piece of rock, but it has Krishna, Lord Krishna in him. That only a sculptor can recognize. The sculptor has to recognize and he start chiseling. He makes fine chiseling to get the beautiful, charming Krishna playing flute. But here, the sculptor and the rock are different, two different things. Whereas in our context, you are the sculptor, you are the rock. So you have to chisel yourself, remove the covering, and recognize a person, the core person in you to be that person who is sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. That is why we use the word adhikaritvam. The word has got significance. Not without any significance, we use the word adhikaritvam. Though I loosely translate the word as the one who is qualified, the word is not just that. The word is not just meaning that qualification. It is discovering yourself to be that person, the qualified person. That is called adhikaritva. So, therefore, self-sculpting, we can call it as self-sculpting, which leads to the identification of yourself with this sadhanam, with this sampatti. That is adhikaritva. Therefore, if these sadhanams are not your nature, then you cannot gain freedom. Those sadhanams are your nature. It is there. Only thing you have to recognize it. You have to chisel yourself to see that you are with this qualification. Therefore, adhikaritvam, the status of being an adhikari, recognizing oneself to be the person of adhikari. Therefore, the sadhanams are with you. You need to discover it. If these sadhanams are not your nature, then you cannot gain freedom. Since freedom is already an accomplished one, therefore, these sadhanams help only to manifest that freedom, which is your nature. Freedom is your nature. It is siddhavastu. Freedom is an already accomplished one. It is not something you gain freedom. We are free. That is the truth. But we think we are bound. That's a problem. That is ajnanam. If you are bound, if that is the truth, then you cannot gain freedom. If you are free, then if you want to become free, then the problem is ajnanam. The ajnanam has to go to know that I am free. Therefore, freedom is your nature. Therefore, only we talk about these sadhanams and the importance of it to discover that you are free and that freedom is the very nature of you. So, therefore, this sadhana chatushtayam is important. When you have this sadhana chatushtayam, the sadhanams, then you are a saintly person. You are a divine person. You are a jnani. In fact, you are a jnani when you are endowed with this sampatti. This is a real wealth, spiritual wealth. You are a jnani. That is why in Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, he says that between jnana sadhanam and jnanam, there is no difference. Between jnana sadhanam and jnanam, no difference. In the 13th chapter of the Gita, starting from the amanitvam adambitvam for the subsequent 5 shlokas, it talks about Jnana sadhanam. And he says that is jnanam. Amanitvam adimbitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam chaiva. All these are very important, beautiful. Acharyopasanam shaucham. These are very important qualities. So, starting from Manitvam Adambitvam, 13th chapter, 7th shloka, up to the 13th chapter, 11th shloka, the 5 shlokas. And he says, Nyeyam yattat prarakshyami yajñatva mritamashmute. So, yat jnatva. And before that, he says, Etad jnanam iti proktam. That is important line. Etad jnanam iti proktam ajnanam edaton yatha. So whatever the 20 values which I mentioned, understand that to be the jnanam. Etad jnanam iti proktam. This 20 important spiritual values. We will discuss about that. Maybe in continuation with Sadhana Chatushtayam, we can discuss those 20 values also, maybe after this. So Bhagavan Krishna says these 20 important spiritual values, these are jnanam. He says these are jnanam, not just jnana sadhanam. So he equates jnana sadhanam to jnanam. When you are with this jnana sadhanam, then you are a jnani. So therefore, there is no difference. If you are sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, then almost you have reached the goal. That is what Bhagavan Krishna says. So therefore you need to embellish yourself with jnana sadhana. This sadhana sampatti. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. So therefore, adhikaritvam, when we say, it is nothing but self-embellishment. Adhikaritvam is self-embellishment. It is shining of yourself with the sadhana sampatti. Like a silver or a copper vessel, it requires some embellishment for it to glitter. Because if these vessels are kept outside or used, then after some time you see that it is covered by a layer. So therefore it requires some embellishment. After that it will glitter. Similarly, a sadhaka also requires certain embellishment. The removal of dust is called embellishment. Embellishment doesn't produce a new vessel. When you embellish a copper vessel, you don't get a new copper vessel. It just removes the outer dust. The dust cover is removed. Similarly, here also, you need to remove the dust which is covering you in the form of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, all the shat tribus, and the agitation of the mind, the sense organs, lacking shama, dhamma. All these are the dust which you need to remove. That is called embellishment. That is called adhikaritvam. Therefore, I would translate adhikaritvam as self-embellishment. Self-embellishment is adhikaritvam. Embellishment means removing the cover and discovering yourself to be that with sampatti. So there is no any addition. You discover yourself to be that person by embellishing. Discover to be that person who is an adhikari for jnanam. Therefore, adhikaritvam is self-embellishment. And this embellishment required, continuous embellishment is required till the goal. The goal is freedom. Freedom is achieved. Why? Because this raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, all these can cover you. Again, if you are not established in jnanam, this can cover you again with a very thick coat. Therefore, continuous embellishment is required till you reach the goal. The goal is moksha. Therefore, the embellishment and the maintaining of it till you see that you are that person You are that person whom you are seeking all the time in and through all the pursuits. Agam Purnaha, till that jnanam happens, we need to have this embellishment. So one has to keep embellishing till one clearly understands and assimilate the vision of the Shastra. Therefore, sadhu sangha, satsanga, all these are important. It keeps you embellished. Hearing the words of Shastram, even though you have heard, but again and again, punah punah Shastra Shavanam, that helps you in maintaining the embellishment. Therefore, the purity of mind, the clarity of mind, the clarity in thinking, the preparedness for understanding the vision of Shastram, it is what I mean by the embellishment, which is referred by the word sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. That is why we emphasize so much on this. Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, when you have, you are available for yourself for the study of Shastram. So what I say will enter your head and your mind is free and there is clarity in thinking. There is understanding of the vision of the Shastram. That is Jnanam, and that Jnanam gives freedom. That is why Sadhana Chatushtayam is important. And when you have Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, you have more time for yourself. You will have more time for the study of and listening to Shastram. You will have very less distraction. The sense organs will not go outside. You have got Dhamma. So you have got Dhamma, Shama. So the sense organs will be with you. It will obey you. Generally, sense organs have outgoing tendencies. Generally, they go out. That is how Bhagavan has created. Paranchikani vitrinat swayambhuhu parang pashyati nantaratman. That Upanishad says sense organs are designed like that. It goes out. They are outward going. They are extrovert in nature. That is how Bhagavan has created. You cannot blame it. Therefore, only we need this sadhanams. They are outward going. Therefore, only you need to have some mastery over it. Therefore, you need to keep the vairagya, viveka going. Vairagya, viveka, the company of good people, study of Shastram, and also contributing to the society by reaching out action, seva, dhanam. All this will keep you embellished. Will keep you an adhikari. Therefore, only we are discussing this sadhana chatushtayam, very important topic. Now, under this, we are saying uparamaha. Uparamaha means swadharma anushtanam, dharma anushtanam. That is called uparamaha. Dharma, I explained the word dharma, even though it has got many meanings. In this context, dharma meaning duty. I will explain in another context again the different meanings of the word dharma. But here you can take the meaning of the word dharma to be duty. That is what is to be done by a person. That is called dharma. Swa means one's own. So one's own dharma. Swadharma. My dharma. My dharma is swadharma. Anushtanam is observing. Practicing my dharma, one's own dharma, that is called swadharma. And this swadharma, as we discussed, from the Vaidika standpoint, there got some dharma, Vaidika dharma. Vaidika that is in keeping with the Veda, and that there are some dharmas which are keeping with Shrauta. Vaidika dharma meaning karma, because anushtanam is there, therefore anushtanam means practicing, following, therefore karma, activity. So swadharma anushtanam, following one's own duty, following one's own dharma, duty by doing what is to be done. What is following of dharma? Following of dharma is doing what is to be done. That is called following one's dharma. If there is no doing, then where is following of dharma? So dharma can also mean
Guruji,
karma. Yes.
in between we lost your voice. That's why I tried, but you came back again. Thank you.
Okay. So dharma, another meaning of the word dharma is karma. So dharma, when we say, one is duty, other one is karma. So in the Shastram, two types of dharma, meaning the value, meaning value or meaning karma. You can take the meaning of the word dharma as karma. Two types of dharma is talked about, which we discussed. One is samanya dharma, other one is vishesha dharma. Samanya dharma, it is samanya, it is common for everyone. That is why it's called samanya dharma. Vishesha dharma depends on the stage, varnashrama vyavastha, depending on in which stage of life you are following that. So dharma meaning action, meaning karma, it is swadharma and vishesha dharma. Two types of dharma, and that too, this vishesha dharma, samanya dharma is for everyone. There is no question of not following it. Everybody is supposed to follow samanya dharma. When it comes to swadharma, that differs from person to person. Because I am in a different stage of life and you are in a different stage of life, different varna, ashrama, vyavastha, different condition of existence. So it differs from person to person. So what is my swadharma need not be your swadharma. It differs. So whatever may be one's swadharma, following that is called uparamaha. Following that is called uparamaha. And this one's dharma, that is one's karma. Before we talk about that, we need to know that there are 5 types of actions, karma, which are talked about in the Shastra. 5 types of karma. Nitya karma, Naimitika karma, Kamya karma, Prayaschitta karma, and Nishiddha karma. 5 types of karma. Nitya karma is swadharma. Whatever nitya karma you have, one has to do, one has to follow nitya karma. Nitya means must be done daily. Nitya is that which is to be practiced, which is to be done daily. Nitya karma. There are some Vedika nitya karma. Similarly, Naimitika karma, karmas which are performed occasionally. So nitya naimitika is one's swadharma, which one has to do. There is no question of not doing nitya naimitika. Nitya, which is daily obligatory duty. Naimitika is occasional, like Shraddhadi karma. Shraddhadi karma, Naimitika karma. And the three karmas, Kamya karma is a karma which are performed for gaining some benefits, some results. Kamya karma. Desire prompted action, that is called Kamya karma. And Prayaschitta karma, that is karma which is done for nullifying the effects of bad karma, Papa karma, that is called Prayaschitta karma. Another type of karma is Nishiddha karma, the karma which one should avoid, should not do, because it will invite Papa. So among these 5 types of karma, Nitya karma, Naimitika karma, that depends on the person, varna, ashrama, vyavastha, and that a person must do. There is no question of not following it. Nitya Naimitika karma must be followed. Whereas this Kamya, Prayaschitta, and Nishiddha, these 3 karmas, a sadhaka must reduce to a significant level. Kamya karma is desire prompted activities. a person can have, but can be reduced. If you reduce, then you will have more time for more time for yourself, more time for the study of Shastra. If more kamas are there, then more time will be spent for doing action in achieving it. So more time it will take. It will take your time. The less the number of kamya karma, the more time you have for the study of Shastra. Therefore, reducing the kamya karma, and when you reduce the kamya karma, therefore, the prayashitta karma, any action which you have done either deliberately or inadvertently, that which can bring you papa palam, that also will be less. Automatically will get reduced because kamya karma is less. Therefore, prayashitta karma also will become less. And nishita karma, which one must avoid. There is no question of that. So these three karmas, one a sadhaka, as a sadhaka, one has to reduce. And nitya naimiti karma must be the followed. So swadharma anushtanam means what? Following nitya naimitika karma anushtanam. That is called uparamaha. Uparamaha is following nitya naimitika karmas and reducing kami karma, and therefore prayashitta karma, and avoiding nishiddha karma, forbidden actions. This is called uparamaha. This is called uparamaha. So here, swadharma anushtanam, dharma in the sense of meaning, in the meaning of karma, we have discussed. Following one's duty. Following one's duty. There is another meaning also. Another meaning also is there for the word uparama. That is, what you gained by shama and dhamma, that you keep maintaining it. That is called uparamaha. This is another definition of the word uparama. Another meaning of the word uparama. How do I get the meaning? Bhagavad Pada in Viveka Chudamani, he says, Bhagya analambanam. Bhagya analambanam vrittehe esha uparatihi uttama iti. Esha uparatihi uttama. Bhagya analambanam. Bhagya analambanam. Alambanam is dependency. Bhagya analambanam means not depending on any external object. Objects external to the body, mind, senses. Object external to that. With reference to that, you have what? Uparatihi. You withdraw from that. That is called uparatihi. Uttama uparatihi. That uparati is greater. That is, you refrain yourself in terms of thoughts, in terms of actions, from going towards the external objects. From going towards the external objects. Here he says vritti. Vritti means thoughts. So thoughts are not having any hold on the external objects. That is called uparama. Hold your outgoing thought. Hold your thought from going outwards. That is called uparama. Already we discussed that is what is called shamaha. But here why again he mentions is shama is mano nigraha. Tama is indriya nigraha. But you need to maintain it. You need to keep maintaining it. Therefore it's uparama. Therefore uparama. So why need to maintain? Because for Atma Jnanam, there needs to be a total commitment. A total commitment to the pursuit of Atma Jnanam is called uparama. The total commitment to the pursuit of moksha is called uparama. It means your thoughts are well within the range of this, the pursuit of Atmajnanam only. It doesn't go outside, doesn't go beyond that. You keep maintaining within that and limit only. The range is only within that. Whatever is conducive, beneficial for the pursuit of Jnanam, with regard to that only, your thoughts also pervaded, not outside. Not outside. So you have got that restraint, that is called maintaining that. That is called Uparama. This is another definition of the word Uparama. And another meaning also is there. Another meaning which is given by Vedanta Sara. Vedanta Sara is another Prakarana Grantha, another Vedanta treatise, which gives a meaning. That is, Vihitanam Karmanam Vidina Tyagaha. One meaning. Two meanings are given by Vedanta Sara. One meaning I am giving. Another meaning maybe I will tell you in the next class. One meaning I will say. Vigitanam karmanam vidina parityagaha. Uparama means vigita karmanam. Karma which is ordained by vidina, by vidhi, by rules, which ordains that shastram. Shastra vigita karma. Shastra ordains certain karma which you have to do. That parityagaha. Parityagaha means giving up. Giving up the karmas. Vigitanam karmanam vidina parityaga. You don't just give up karma, not dereliction of duty. What the Shastra ordained, that you don't do it because of dereliction, but because of vidina. You give up that ritually. You give up those action also ritually. Not just like that. Giving up your karma, giving up your karma in keeping with the Shastram. How do you give up? By sannyasa. By sannyasa. By sannyasa only you give up the karma. Karma which are ordained by the Shastram. You cannot just give up karma like that. So, giving up of the karma in keeping with the Shastram, is called Uparama. That is parityagaha. Karmanam parityagaha. Giving up of karma. When one can give up karma? Only when one takes to sannyasa. Therefore, the meaning of the word Uparama or Uparati is sannyasa. This is another meaning. One meaning is Swadharma Anushtanam, following one's dharma. Other meaning is giving up of karma. It means sannyasa. So two different meanings are there for the word Uparama. Third meaning also I gave. Maintaining the Shama and Dhamma is called Uparama. All these meanings are possible for the word Uparama. But you see, Swadharma Anushtanam, that is one, and Karmanam Parityagaha, that is another one. These both are totally opposite. It seems to be opposite. But it depends on the person. If it is for a sannyasi, if the sannyasi is studying Shastram, sannyasi is supposed to study Shastram. There is no question of that. If the person takes a sannyasa and devotes its whole time for the study of Shastram, then he must give up the karma. Karmanam parityagaha, he must give up karma, therefore uparamaha. Whereas others who have got other responsibilities, other duties are there. They have not taken to sannyasa, but they are still pursuing Shastram. That is recommended, highly recommended. So for that person, Swadharma Anushtanam is Uparama. He must follow the karma. One's karma, he should not give up. Anushtanam. One case it is Anushtanam, other case is Parityagaha. Parityagaha is for sannyasi, Anushtanam for yogis. Two different sets of people are there. One is sannyasi, other one is karma yogi. Jnana yogena sankyanam, Karma yogena yoginam. Iti Bhagavan Krishna in Gita beautifully says there are two committed lifestyles. One is the lifestyle of a sannyasi, other one is the lifestyle of a karma yogi. Karma yogi and sannyasa. In karma yogi, in karma yoga lifestyle, one does karma in keeping with the shastram, whatever the shastram oriented karma. Along with that, one pursues the study of shastram. That is karma yoga lifestyle, which a brahmachari, a grihastha, or vanaprastha can do. Whereas for sannyasa, one must give up karma, Vedika karma, as well as the other responsibility, other karma, family responsibility, social responsibility, everything he gives up and commits himself to the exclusive study of Shastram and therefore moksha. That is sannyasa. So, two different lifestyles, but two different lifestyles in terms of their lifestyle only, but not in terms of what they want to achieve. In terms of goal, they are same, but in terms of the lifestyle, they are different. Therefore, Uparama also is defined differently. One is Parityaga, other one is Anushtanam. So one is giving up of dharma, other one is following dharma. Who can give up dharma? Sannyasi. So for them, Uparama means sannyasa, because sannyasi doesn't have anything to do. It doesn't have any karma. Therefore, to say that Swadharma Anushtanam, what is dharma? Dharma meaning Vedika karma. Traditionally, we take the word dharma is Vedika karma. Sannyasi doesn't have any Vedika karma. What karma you will do? Therefore, Parityagaha. Whereas for other ashrama, three ashramas, they have got karma to be done. Kartavyam karma. They cannot just give up karma. So for them, anushtanam. By anushtanena, you gain the, by following karma, by doing karma, you gain the yogyata. You gain the preparedness to gain jnanam. So therefore only for karma yogis, karma anushtanam is recommended. Whereas for a sannyasi, karma parityaga is recommended. That is why the definition of Uparama changes with respect to what lifestyle you are leading. Whether it is a karma yoga lifestyle or it is sannyasa lifestyle. There is no difference. There is no difference in terms of the vision between the two lifestyles. But the lifestyles are different, but not the vision. So there is no comparison between the two different lifestyles that we need to understand. It is not that sannyasa is greater and the karma yoga lifestyle is inferior. It's not like. In fact, Bhagavan Krishna he in fact, he eulogizes, he praises karma yoga to be more superior than jnanam. So that is sannyasa lifestyle. Because in karma yoga also takes you to the same goal which a sannyasi, which the lifestyle of a sannyasi takes to. So there is no difference. The goal, the destination being same, whichever lifestyle you follow, it doesn't matter. One lifestyle you do karma, other lifestyle you give up karma. So, but the goals are same. Therefore, there is no comparison. If at all there is any comparison in any corner of your mind, that had to be removed. So, sannyasa means not that everybody should take sannyasa. It's not like that also. Being in the grihastha life, following one's dharma and pursuing shastram, it is a biggest thing, biggest achievement. Even a person takes sannyasa, he will keep doing karma. Not Vedika karma. Vedika karma already had given up ritually. He will not be doing Vedika karma, but he will be doing other karma. He will be doing seva. He will be doing seva. He will be contributing to the society, contributing to the Gurukulam. In some other way, he will be doing karma. Karma, a person cannot give up. Vedika karma, he can give up. But other karma, he cannot give up. He has to do certain karma even to keep going, to keep the body alive. So nobody can really give up the karma. And that too, a person takes to sannyasa, still he can do karma like a karma yogi, preparing oneself for jnanam. So this jnana yogyata prapti is for both karma yogis as well as jnana yogis. Jnana yogyata, the ability to gain the jnanam, that adhikaritvam, to gain the adhikaritvam, to gain the sadhana chatushtayam, both karma yogi and jnana yogi, both karma yogi and jnana yogi can work for it. Both karma yogi and jnana yogi can work for gaining the adhikaritvam. Whether it is karma yogi or jnana yogi, if he has adhikaritvam, then jnanam happens instantly. There is no problem with regard to the goal. That is why Bhagavan Krishna clearly mentions Nishtadvayam, two different lifestyles. That particular shloka Gita is often misunderstood and it is wrongly quoted because of misunderstanding, that saying that there are two different yogas, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, they are not two different yogas leading you to moksha separately. They are two different yogas. The two different yogas, in the sense, the people belonging to different lifestyle, people belonging to two different lifestyles, they do both karma and jnanam. Karma yoga and jnana yoga, it is for both the people, for both the one is for the grihastha as well as sannyasi, both have to do karma yoga and jnana yoga. If a sannyasi is not prepared and taken to sannyasa, then he has to do karma yoga and jnana yoga both. It is not that karma yoga means it is only for the grihastha and jnana yoga for the sannyasi. It is not like that. At least it is not like that nowadays. It is not like that nowadays. Nowadays, a sannyasi also does karma. A sannyasi also does karma yoga to gain chitta shuddhi. And also he pursues jnana yoga, which a grihastha also can do. Being in the same ashrama, a grihastha also can follow karma yoga, gain chitta shuddhi, gain adhikaritvam, and pursue jnana. So there is no difference between the two. Only the lifestyles are different. Whereas in the observance of the yoga, whether karma yoga, jnana yoga, it is same only. There is no difference with regard to that. So, therefore, this karma parityaga, when we say, which is called uparama for the sannyasi, it is giving up of Vaidika karma. It is giving up of Vaidika karma. Vaidika karma can be given up only when you follow. Only when you follow Vaidika karma, then only you can give up. Nowadays, who follows Vaidika karma? How many people follow the Vaidika karma daily? Nitya Vaidika karma. A lot of karma has to be done every day. Who follows that? Nobody is that. Nobody does that really. So what is the giving up of karma? Therefore, giving up of karma and taking to sannyasa is giving up certain responsibility, making myself free from certain responsibility so that I will have time for exclusive study of Shastra Shravanam. That is a lifestyle. That is a lifestyle which is conducive for jnana. Grihastha lifestyle also conducive for jnana. There is no problem. If you are a mature person, you can handle both. You can handle the grihastha lifestyle. At the same time, you can follow the Shastram. You can follow Jnana Yoga also. So, a grihastha also follows Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. A sannyasi also follows Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Both the lifestyles follows both the yogas. But the sequence have to be understood. Karma Yogena Jnana Yogyata. And Jnana Yogena Jnanam Mokshaha. That sequence, the sequence have to be understood. There should not be any confusion with regard to that. Can you all hear me? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Guruji.
Yes.
Yes, Guruji.
Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Guruji.
So, karma, with regard to the sequence of the yoga, one must have clarity, one must have clear understanding. With regard to the lifestyles, both are same. With regard to the goal achieved by the lifestyles, there is no difference. With regard to the sequence, there is a difference. That is, karma yogena jnana yogyata praptihi. That is, jnana yogyata is chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi is what is referred by the word sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. For gaining sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, one has to work. One has to do karma yoga. So karma yogena chitta shuddhi and chitta shuddhya. Karma yogena chitta shuddhi, that is jnana yogyata praptihi. Jnana yogyata prapti dwara jnanam and jnanena moksha. This is the order. This is the krama. So the krama being this, both the lifestyles can follow. Because both the lifestyles can follow, therefore the definition of uparama differs for both. One is parityaga, other one is anushtanam. So the meaning of the word uparama is swadharma anushtanam, that is one meaning. Other one is karmanam parityagaha, another meaning. Swadharma parityaga. Swadharma anushtanam, swadharma parityaga. Two meanings are there. Not only two, another meaning also I gave. What is that meaning? That is withholding, holding the senses and the mind from going towards the other object and maintaining it. Maintaining, that is called uparama. Uparama or uparamanam or uparatihi, any word you can use. That meaning is given by the Vedanta Sara. Nivartitanam etesham tad vyatirikta vishayebhyaha uparamanam. Uparamanam is uparatihi, holding the mind from going towards the external objects and maintaining it. Holding is maintaining the hold. That is called uparamaha. So these are the three meanings given for the word uparama. So the three meanings, the one meaning is maintaining the hold. That is called uparama. Another meaning is swadharma anushtanam, which is for the karma yogis. Other one is karma swadharma parityaha, which is for the sannyasis. So the three meanings are given for uparama. We can further talk about this in the next class. A lot of things are there to talk about the uparama, but this is what, in essence, the meaning of the word uparama is. So I think we can stop here. I hope there was no problem in between. If something is not audible, then you check in the recording. Okay, we can stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Was there any problem between the